What up YouTube, this is GIOSTEALTHR1 and I'm coming to you with a follow-up update with the Slash two-wheel drive LCG. Now, I kind of made a decision to myself that I was going to bring the Slash 4x4 and the Slash two-wheel drive to go on, tracks at this point. And, my Slash 4x4 is pretty much upgraded to where I can, next while I do a little bit of competition runs on the track, I will be changing the motor and ESC on both systems. Reason being is I've seen a lot of people utilize the Valenian system on these tracks as well, which they do really, really nice. But that being said, I do need to have a little bit better of a competition RC for me to actually put the type of numbers that I put with, and to not have the guys at the track look at me like they're that I'm beneath them or anything like that. And with a little bit of training and practice, I'll be able to get this RC up and running. So that being said, my Slash 4x4 is pretty much upgraded a lot. The Slash two-wheel drive does not have that many upgrades. I think I have totally RPM'd out, if you want to talk about upgrades on that. We have RC screws all over the place. Also, these are running on Proline bow ties for the track. But here's other things that I need to do with this RC. As I crack open the hood, also I'm going to get a better body than this. I'll make this my bash body, and then I'll probably get a Flowtech body or something like that. So that being said, the RC is pretty cool. I like it. But as you can see, I'm not a fan of the shocks. So I ended up going to the store at my local hobby shop and acquiring the Proline Pro-Spec shocks. Now, why did I go with these shocks? And, well, if you notice with my RC videos, I, in actuality, have utilized the regular Proline shocks, the dual rated shocks. And by far, I love those shocks on each and every one of my vehicles. The vehicles that I do have that shock on is my Stampede 4x4 and my Stampede two-wheel drive, which is my Gravedigger. Also, I do have those shocks in my Traxxas Rally 10 scale. So when these came out, I think it's been 2 months now since these shocks came out. I was very iffy on acquiring these shocks, knowing the success that I've had with the Power Stroke shocks. So when I started looking at the shocks and I started, reading upon them and going onto the Proline site and just a little bit more of an investigation on these shocks, these are really, really cool. And I'll crack these open for the first time in front of you guys just to get myself a little bit more familiarized with these shocks. So they come, already pre-assembled. You can get them unassembled, but I opted to go with the pre-assembled ones. As you can see, you have a whole bunch of, there's tools, there's washers, and tools, washers, spacers, and a whole bunch of good stuff, a whole bunch of goodies in this bag. So this is something definitely to keep a hold of. But let me come across and look at these shocks right now. So the first thing that I found very interesting is this reservoir screw, to where I'm able to come across, unscrew this as I'm, configuring the shock, pushing everything out, so there's a little bit less recoil once I install these. And the Power Strokes don't have that. So this is a definitely awesome thing to have. As I can see, the top part of the shock is now plastic, which might be concerning depending on how these shocks work out. But you know what? All in all, very well built construction. I love how they were able to throw the Proline emblems on the inside. But these are really, really well constructed shocks. Now, here's a question for people who have done competition racing on a track. What shock oil should I utilize? I'm thinking possibly 40 weight, maybe 35 weight, depending on how I assemble these. So I think right now, what do I have available to me? I think I do have a 35 weight. I'm pretty sure that that's the weight that comes in the Traxxas vehicle. Maybe I might put a 40 weight just to give it a little bit more oomph, you know, on that. I'm not going to go into terrible detail of showing you how these are assembled because they came pre-assembled. What I am going to do is I'm going to disassemble the RC from the old shocks. I'm going to install these new shocks. At this point, since I am going to go with the competition type RC, I might not put shock covers on these because I want these to have I want these to do exactly what I want them to do, is to be more competitive on the track. So maybe, maybe not. I'm not too sure. I am changing the color scheme of this RC. So as you can see, blue wire mesh will not be there anymore. Or possibly I might mix it up with another color. I'm thinking possibly either yellow or orange. I'm not too sure, but just to give it a little bit of a different, you know, splash of color or something like that. So these look totally awesome. I'm really, really happy on this purchase. The con about the purchase is that these are very, very, very expensive. MSRP I think it's like 80 bucks each one. You can get these for under $100 for the pair if you look on eBay, or if you could possibly go on your local hobby shop, you might get it for $10 more each. But definitely a good buy for you to look into. If you like the Power Strokes, then go with those. You know, I recommend them to a lot of the RC fans, the RC universe that check out the channel and stuff like that. But these are definitely a good buy. If you're looking just to pimp out your RC and say, hey, you know what, I have these in my RC, that's another good thing to do, is just have that available. And you know, it is what it is. So definitely check them out. I'm going to install these right now. We're going to see how they look, and hopefully you guys give a big thumbs up. So let me get started. Let me get this working. All right, so I just installed the shocks. You know what? I like them. I do like them. I haven't really totally set them, but man, I mean, take away these little mud flaps, but they feel really, really, really good, you know. I ended up putting 50 weight into the RC, which, I don't know. I'm going to test them out, you know, see how it works off. But I'm liking the chrome look, you know, to match up with everything else. Trying to get a chassis, a great chassis. Hopefully that will be in the future, or maybe a black chassis. Who knows what I'm going to get. And maybe black out these areas or something like that, or just gray everything out and make this like the old timer slash, because it's been around for so many years. But that's it, you know. That's the way they look. I mean, I think they came out really, really nice. I mean, they're definitely a good shock, you know, for the price that I paid. They better be a good shock. But yeah, so there goes what initially I did. I ended up taking out the shoulder screws and putting just the regular screws, because the way they have it set up over here, they fit really, really well. I like the adjustability on them. But all in all, there goes the installation of this for my Slash two-wheel drive, and hopefully I can have more and more upgrades on this. Most likely I'm going to go with a metal bell crank, maybe a better servo, other things that I'm looking to get for this RC. The body will be the next presentation that I will have with this RC, and just a few other things I want to pick up for this, possibly other wheels as well. Maybe I believe I have the trenchers on mine, on my Slash 4x4, and I most likely will get the Trencher X's, which have the bigger sidewall on the sides, just similar to these. So a lot of upgrades for this RC in the near future, so definitely stay tuned, rate, comment, subscribe, and tell my fellas up in YouTube. Later.